Pakistan-Afghanistan negotiations in Turkey have collapsed moments after the Pakistani delegation received a phone call from Islamabad and abruptly reversed its position, according to insiders familiar with the closed-door discussions. The three-day talks, mediated by officials from Qatar and Turkey, had been on the verge of agreement. Both sides had finalized nearly all agenda items. Afghanistan had reiterated its long-standing position that it would not allow anyone to use its soil to attack Pakistan and had offered to formalize this commitment. Initially, the Pakistani delegation agreed to these conditions, but soon after receiving the phone call, it retracted its consent, saying Islamabad could not prevent US drone operations or guarantee measures against ISIS elements. The Pakistani delegation had already drawn attention for its off-topic interventions, poor preparation and frequent use of harsh and disrespectful language. At one point, Turkish and Qatari representatives privately remarked to the Afghan side that Pakistan appeared to be struggling with too many difficult neighbors. Insiders said the Pakistani delegation also lost composure during exchanges, resorting to mocking and insulting remarks that unsettled the room. The head of the delegation, described as behaving very poorly, demanded that Afghanistan take control of all groups that carry out attacks inside Pakistan, a request that the mediators found unusual and unrealistic. By the final day, all agenda items except one had been settled. However, the phone call and subsequent reversal undid days of progress, leaving the session in collapse. I am now being joined by Mr. Abhinandan Mishra from the Sunday Guardian. Sir, of course, we are taking a look at these reports that are coming out. And firstly, I would like to ask you to take our viewers through this information that is coming in, this phone call from Islamabad that reversed days and days of mediations between Afghanistan and Pakistan in order to put an end to this conflict.
So these talks started on Saturday. They were happening in Istanbul. The Pakistani side was being led by the defense minister, and the Afghanistan side was also being led by its defense minister. And till last night, things were going the way as it was expected to be. Both sides had agreed to certain things. The main point of contention that remained, which was had to be decided today, was, as you had mentioned, was Pakistan has been asking Afghanistan to stop giving grounds to TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, from operating from Afghanistan and carrying out attacks in Pakistan. That was Pakistan's claim. But Afghanistan side very categorically rejected this and said that the TTP is operating from within the Pakistan border rather than the Afghanistan border, so they cannot control an organization, an entity which is based in Pakistan. The other point was that Afghanistan side had sought a written guarantee that Pakistan will not allow US forces to fly drones from their side, and secondly, Pakistan army will not violate its territory. And third, the main important point was, which Afghanistan wanted a written guarantee, was that Pakistan will stop ISIS from using its territory to target Kabul. And what I have been told by the negotiators and from the mediators from Qatar and Türkiye who were there is that everything was agreed upon. But at the last moment, the Pakistan side got a call from Islamabad. Presumably, it was from the military leadership, and they were asked not to agree to these two things. So at that point, the talks have collapsed as of now, and that is the thing.
Well, of course, sir, and as per this information that is with you, what do you think are the likelihoods of what could have been behind this phone call, or rather who could have been behind this phone call? What is likely to have been said that has led to the complete collapse of these ceasefire negotiations?
Had been agreed. except these 2 points regarding not allowing the U.S. Government to use its Pakistan airspace to carry out strikes against Afghanistan, and the use and stop ISIS from using its territory against Pakistan. And these 2 points were also agreed to by the Pakistani negotiators. But just minutes before the signing, they consulted someone, and then they got a call from Islamabad. I'm assuming, I haven't told, but which is not officially, I'm not confirmed. It was from the Pakistan military leadership, and then they asked them, the negotiators, not to sign these 2 things. Upon which the Afghanistan negotiators said that these 2 points are very important, and the talks cannot proceed, and no peace agreement can be agreed upon unless these two points are agreed by the Pakistani side. So right now the talks have collapsed. They have ended without any conclusion. I believe some sort of clarity will emerge within an hour or so if there is any possibility of the talks being resumed or not. But as of now, the talks have ended without any conclusion.
Well, of course. So thank you so much for joining us and providing us, in fact, with this major news break on this story. But I'm also now being joined by Major General Sudhakarji, Senior Defence and Geopolitical Expert. So thank you for joining us as we track this big story. Now, of course, what we're looking at over here is just yesterday, we saw the Taliban spokesperson from Afghanistan stating that, the talks are progressing in a good manner and they expect some sort of positive outcome as these negotiations between the two sides continued. And now today what we're learning is that, reports say that one phone call from Islamabad led to the entire collapse of any sort of headway that was made in bringing this conflict to an end. What are the likelihoods, do you think? Of course, there are multiple likelihoods of who could have been behind this phone call, whether it was the Pakistani leadership, whether it was the military apparatus from Pakistan, whether it was the United States, of course, who also play a major role, who have a major stake in this conflict. In your view, of course, who do you think is likely to have been behind this phone call? What could have been discussed that could just lead to an end to days and days of back and forth and negotiations?
Well, Vika, good afternoon. Thank you for getting me for your show. I have very little time. It's 1:10. I have to go to the NewsX world. Anything related to security has got a global angle, has a regional and also local angle. The global angle, as I see, is that America has made a comeback to the space vacated by it some time back, and it is trying to push back China in its deep penetration into Pakistan and Afghanistan and Iran and such like countries. So in an effort to redeem its lost ground, it has come into the Pakistan territory, and everything that is happening today is a manifestation of the strategic rivalry. It is trying to push back China from whatever deep inroads it has made. Ultimately, it is vying or aiming to dislodge China from the CPEC as also to Gwadar. And that is one issue. Second issue is that whether it is America or Pakistan, nobody likes any country to exercise strategic autonomy. When it comes to Pakistan, it is Taliban which is asserting its, flexing its muscles. It doesn't want to become a junior partner. It wants to be treated as an equal partner with Pakistan, which doesn't go down too well with Pakistan. And America also knows sooner or later it wants the Bagram airfield, and therefore it has to come down very in a calibrated manner with the help of Pakistan to regain the lost territory. And last but not the least, the dynamics inside the Pakistan. The dynamics are so volatile, so dynamic, that they themselves are not able to take control of the Tehrik Taliban Pakistan. So hence, this particular strategy has been resorted to. I'll finish here. I have to go to the other channel. Kindly bear with me, please. Thank you.
Well, sir, of course, thank you for joining us with your perspective on that as well. Now, let's shift our focus to some more breaking news that is coming in. Pakistan reactivated launch pads across the line of control in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and the international border in Pakistan. The Pakistan Army is providing shelter to Jaish and Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists to stay and infiltrate to this side of Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan terror launch pads once again reactivated across Poonch, Rajouri, Kupwara and Baramulla and across international border in Samba, Jammu and Kashmir and Kathua district. Now, according to sources, movement of terrorists is observed in Kotli, Hamirpur, Quetta, Kahuta, Garyabibula, Keel and Neelam Belly. Masroor Bada Bhai, Shakargarh ISI Center, a major terror launch pad, has also been reactivated. The Indian Army and BSF sounded a high alert along the LOC and international border to foil Pakistan's nefarious plan. So those, of course, are the major updates that we're getting from Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistani terror launch pads reportedly reactivated not only along the line of control but also the international border in Jammu and Kashmir. Many districts like we just saw Poonch, Rajouri, Kupwara and even Samba along the international border, where we are seeing terror launch pads being reactivated, which of course points to a probable attempt at infiltration into Jammu and Kashmir that we have been seeing from Pakistan for a long time. Indian Army and BSF are of course alert and making efforts to combat this latest development. Ajay Chandyal, Jammu and Kashmir Bureau Chief, is joining us for more on this story. Ajay, we're seeing once again Pakistan terror launch pads being activated along the LOC and the international border. Take us through this preparation by the Army and BSF that is being done in order to make sure that Pakistan's nefarious plots are not successful.
Yes, we can see that there are specific input with the security agencies that after Operation Sindoor, when a number of Pakistani terror launch pads were decimated, and also when Pakistan tried to target the civilians on the line of control and the international border area, they were given befitting retaliation by the Indian forces. But now, once again, Pakistan is reactivating its terror launch pad across the line of control, whether it is in the Kupwara, Keren, Uri, Neelam Valley, as well as the Rajouri, Poonch and the Jammu sector international border area. And there are specific input that around 100 terrorists, they are camping in these terror launch pads, which basically have been activated by the Pakistani forces and Pakistan Army. They have given the jungle warfare training to these terrorists, and they have been provided the modern weapons, modern communication gadgets to infiltrate, and which will help them to disturb peace over here in the Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen that in the recent past that how terrorists, those who are hiding in the forest area, operation to neutralize them, that is going on. But our forces, Jammu Kashmir Police, Army, and the BSF, they have sounded a high alert on the line of control and the international border area to ensure that if these terrorists will try to infiltrate to this side, they have to be neutralized. If you see that in last few months, number of terror infiltration took place in the Poonch and Kupwara and on the international border as well. We have seen that attempt was made, but that attempt was foiled by the Indian Army and the BSF troopers over there. But high alert has been sounded and to ensure that Pakistan's nefarious plan has to be decimated.
Of course, Ajay, thank you so much for joining us with all of those details. Meanwhile, Ajay Chandyal, Jammu and Kashmir Bureau Chief, has also spoken to some army personnel at the line of control. Listen in.
Amid ongoing situation between Afghanistan and Pakistan, high alert has been sounded here on the line of control in the Jammu and Kashmir, because there is apprehension that Pakistan could try to, disturb peace on the line of control in the border areas with India, so that they can divert the attention of the world. And that's why Indian Army, they have sounded high alert over here. You can see that how Indian Army Jawan, they are moving tactically over here on the fenced area to ensure that if anyone they have tried to breach this fence area, they have to be taken care of, and then they can take the action accordingly. You can see that they are well trained army jawans of the Indian Army. They are basically doing patrolling round the clock to ensure that they have to save the nation's border over here. According to information, there are a number of launch pads across the line of control, and Pakistan basically want that terrorists to be infiltrate to this side of the Jammu and Kashmir and to foil nefarious plan of Pakistan. They are ensuring by doing patrolling over here. This is the same area in Nusheira sector which was in the news because the number of Pakistani positions as well as the Pakistani terror launch pad were decimated by the brave soldiers of the Indian Army during Operation Sindoor. Let's speak to the jawans, those who are doing patrolling over here, that what they have to say. किस तरह की यहाँ चौकसी है, किस तरह की तैयारी रहती है?
यहाँ आप एरिया को देख सकते हैं कि बड़ी बड़ी पहाड़ियों से ढका हुआ है, जंगल भी बहुत घना है और मौसम की बात करूँ तो यहाँ कभी ठंडी होती है, कभी गर्मी होती है, जिसपे कि दुश्मन का यहाँ कभी भी घुसपैठ करना हो सकता है। तो हर इंडियन आर्मी का हर एक जवान तैनात है कि उस घुसपैठ को रोकना है। हम 24 घंटे अपनी फेंसिंग पे ड्यूटी देते हैं और अलर्ट रहते हैं।
यहाँ जो देश के लोग हैं वो इस चीज़ को लेकर चिंता में हैं कि जो पाकिस्तान में हालात हैं, यहाँ फिर घुसपैठ हो सकती है, यहाँ फिर टेंशन हो सकती है, तो उसके लिए देश की सेना कितनी तैयार है और क्या उनको संदेश देंगे?
मैं देश के नागरिकों को यही बताना चाहता हूँ कि कोई टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है। आप खुश रहिए, आपके आगे देश के इंडियन आर्मी खड़ी है और पूरी तैयारी के साथ इंडियन आर्मी आपकी रक्षा करेगी।
So you can see they are saying that this is a message to the country that the nation need not to worry because we are here and we are definitely ready to follow any plan of Pakistan, because for last more than 3 decades Pakistan is trying to push in terrorists over here to vitiate peace over here in the Jammu and Kashmir, and after Operation Sindoor there are apprehension that Pakistan once again could try to disturb peace in the Jammu and Kashmir, but our forces definitely they are on the ready mode. With Bunty Digraj, NewsX, line of control.